Hi everyone, Melissa Shank with you here at the 2013 Renovators RoundTable, and look who I have with me, Jim Caruk himself. I'm surprised you are a man in demand, so I thought
running around.
Yeah, exactly. It's been a busy 3 days. We are about to wrap up shortly. I was curious though, what is your vision for the roundtable? How did you come up with this fantastic idea, bringing in all of the different tools and suppliers and sponsors and mixed in with the contractors?
Well, it was the whole, like, even the magazine's the same. Our same vision is that we have to have a voice for what we do, and it's like we're all these little contractors all over the country running around and really just know where to go. And so the roundtable, we thought, well, you know what? Let's do the same idea as the magazine. Let's get them together. Let's hear their ideas. The complaining, the do's and don'ts. Like, let's just make this happen. So, I mean, obviously it was a group effort with, we went to our suppliers, our manufacturers, and then we put it out in the magazine how many contractors would be interested. We want to keep it fairly small right now, so that we get more out of it. And, we got like this overwhelming response that, yeah, that would be a great idea. This is our second one. Half of the guys, that are here now, we went from 50 to 100. Most of them are all back from last year, and now we have some new ones. But you know what? We have great speakers, such as yourself, helping us make our businesses that much better, with the technology and everything that's out there. I mean, a lot of us are old school. We're not businessmen. We're contractors. We swing a hammer. We don't know a whole lot about business. So that's why we need people like yourself, like the other speakers, to help us, grow our business. And I think, having it like this little intimate little group, after everyone speaks, we get to sit around our table, talk about what's just happened, talk about what we've been doing in our business, and the do's and the don'ts and the mistakes that we've made. And I think, this is like, we've just heard an overwhelming response about, this is great, nobody else does this. And that's, it's kind of what I want to do, is just create this community for our industry, so that we can just throw it all out there and start picking and choosing, because we don't have to look at each other as competition. I mean, even though some of us are, but really we're not. We should be working together. There's enough work out there for all of us. And if we can create this community of contractors that, we have a code of ethics and all that stuff, I think, the public is going to, really come after that and say, these guys, they're reputable, they're legit, they're honest, the integrity's there. It's only going to make our industry that much better.
And you've brought up a really solid point about, from everyone that I've been interviewing, from across the West Coast, from BC to the mid, to like Ontario, all the way out to Newfoundland and Nova Scotia, they love hearing each other's stories. And that mix and that collaboration together. It's been quite a couple days.
Everybody has a story, right? And that's
yeah.
Just talking to these guys for the last few days, I said, all of us have a story, whether it's a good one or it's a bad one, but we learn from them. Mm-hmm. And I think next year, I don't know how it will work, but I was mentioning to David Chestnut, who's our publisher, and who helped put this out, who definitely put all this together, is we open the floor up like an open forum, open mic type of thing, for half an hour. Give if anybody wants to come, you got 5 minutes. Tell us your story, or tell us whatever. And let's, we can do it that way too, and get the ideas out on the floor, and then we can chat about it, right?
And I love that, because my second day of speaking, that's what I tried to do with a couple of the stories I heard on day one. I wanted everyone to make sure that everyone else could hear that. So that, I think, is one of our goals as well, is to be able to take these stories, leverage them, and if you couldn't be at the round table, then at least you can find them on Facebook, on YouTube. Renovation Contractor as a magazine, as a community, I think is growing and continues to grow and evolve.
We've just scratched the surface.
Yeah, and that's my overall goal for you and for everyone else, is to enhance that community and keep that community growing, so that everyone is working together.
Yeah, no, and that's, I think we're definitely getting there. I mean, I'll bring this up about the story that we've heard this morning about Casey, who's from Medicine Hat. I mean, it's so funny. Last year he missed his plane, and he showed up in the middle of an ice storm, and they gave his room away, and he had to sleep in the car in the freezing cold, and he showed up here, and then I was talking to him today, or yesterday, and he says, Jim, he says, last year I did $44,000 in business. And he says, I took everything I had from this roundtable last year, and now I'm back. He says, I did 1.2 million.
Unbelievable.
Like that,
so these
that
nuggets,
alone
you're like, whoa.
makes this worth it.
Yes, and
right?
that's what I had him speak this morning during
Did
my
you?
session,
Good.
to get up and tell everyone, because people don't necessarily believe that, sure, a speaker will say these things, but I can't do it, or
Yeah.
I don't know how to do it. If you put your heart and soul into it, you really want it, you'll find a way
You
to
can
do
do
it.
it. Exactly.
You'll do it.
If you have the drive, you can do it.
Well, and I think that's why you have maintained and been such a mentor, and I've heard this from many people, you've been a mentor for them in the trades industry, in
Thank
the
you.
field of renovation and contracting, because there aren't a lot of reputable people in it that will be honest and will tell them exactly the information they need to know.
Right.
So,
I mean, that's what I felt like. I was fortunate to have a TV show and everything else like that. So why not use it, to an industry that's been good to me?
Mm-hmm.
So why not help make this industry that much better? I mean, it's tough enough out there. I mean, we get a lot of bad raps, and I think it's not always the contractor.
So as we wrap up this year's roundtable, I guess the next question is, what's happening next year?
Well, we're already talking about next year, so I think we're going to open up to a few more. Again, we don't want it to become like this gigantic trade show, because it's not a trade show. It is a roundtable. So I think next year we're going to open it up to probably maybe an extra 30 more contractors, and then we're going to try to make this a little bit bigger and better, and get maybe everybody wants to bring their other half would be great, and make it a little more of a big.
And it's been really cool as a side point. There's a couple of attendees this year, husband and wife teams,
Yes.
separate businesses coming together. The stories, the testimonials are amazing. So I guess the news is stay tuned, read the magazine,
Read a magazine.
and just definitely when you see to sign up soon, because there will not be many spaces available.
They go very quickly.
Yeah,
Yes,
they do.
they do.
So we'll see you next year.
Great, thank you very much.
Thank you, and we'll see you next year, hopefully, as well.